Welcome back, everybody, to We Talk Film Podcast. I'm your host, Barry, joined by Clayton. How are things, Clayton?
Hey, Barry. I'm doing good. Very busy as of this week, but we're back. We're into the swing of
we're into the swing of things. We're doing it. We're talking about another film this week.
Yeah, we got lots of films coming at you because the films are coming out, so we guess we watch them.
Yahoo!
But today's film isn't a new film. It is actually quite old now. It's been around for a little bit. It's one that we are catching up on.
Yes.
But before we get into that, as always, Barry, throw us on over to the newsroom.
Love the news. I was on point with that button. Not gonna lie. I was like, damn, I saw the button and I pressed it.
I'm a little quickly had that button like locked and loaded. Okay, first story this week is Daredevil Born Again release date of March 2025. It's not that far away. It is being cut down to 8 episodes from the originally announced 16.
Damn.
We don't know how long those are, or
like 10 minutes each.
Like if they've just smashed the 2 half-an-hour episodes. Like if it was 16 half-an-hours and they've just made it 8 hours, whatever.
That's all right.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, whatever. That's cool. But we also found out the original reboot, because Daredevil Born Again was rewritten and reshot a whole lot. The original version was not supposed to cross over with the Netflix series at all. It was supposed to have nothing in common with that.
Oh, okay, so that was just a straight reboot.
Charlie Cox's Daredevil. Straight reboot, which is very weird. But they've scrapped it. Charlie Cox has come out and said, like, it originally wasn't going to be anything like that at all, but now everything is like that. They've gone, the fans want this to connect to a show that already exists and is really good and would make sense to continue. And so they've been like, you know what, let's just do that. So that's good.
Cool.
Okay, what's next? Okay. Did you know that Friday the 13th is becoming like a multi-platform, huge enterprise now?
I thought it already was. They got video games, they got books, they got 100 movies.
Pretty much. Well, the Jason universe, as it's being called, is basically bringing it everywhere. They're announcing new games, new immersive experiences, theme parks were rumored. They're like apparently just going hard into Friday the 13th for some reason.
Okay.
I don't know. It feels very out of left field.
That is a bit
I don't know.
strange. Not gonna lie, that's a bit weird. I didn't realize there was so many like Friday the 13th fans out there to do all that.
I mean, but it's not even like an announcement of a new film or anything. It's just like, hey, we're gonna try and sell you more T-shirts or whatever.
Wow! They're trying to turn Jason into Mickey Mouse. That's what they're doing.
Jason, you know what? I'm here for that. Sure.
Yeah.
Why not? Okay. In other news, Five Nights at Freddy's 2 has a December 5th, 2025 release date now too. So it's coming out next year.
Yep.
That's like just about 2 years after the first one. We saw it coming. It made shit tons of money. Hopefully it's better than that.
Hopefully.
I'm sure it'll be fun either way, but who knows? Okay, so Fallout. The star of the show, Ella Purnell. Okay, her next carryover role from after that is playing the lead in a film called The Scurry, in which it's killer squirrels. It's gonna get a trailer at some point.
Okay.
Soon. But I'm very interested because I thought she was great in Fallout, and I want to see her fight off a bunch of evil squirrels.
Yeah.
It sounds
why
funny
not?
It sounds like just like Gremlins crossed with Cocaine Bear, and I'm all for that idea.
That's how the squirrels. That's what happened. It's gonna come from Elizabeth Banks. She's just like, we're gonna give a whole bunch of squirrels cocaine. There we go.
That sounds awesome. I love that idea for a movie. Sounds great. Okay. Other news. We got some first looks at Last of Us' Season 2, showing some designs of how Pedro Pascal's looking and how Bella Ramsey's Ellie is looking. And so far, it seems like it's just going to continue being good.
Yep.
Both of these look good. It still fits the same vibe of the first season, but obviously they look a bit older. Bella Ramsey doesn't look quite as old as she
No.
should, but I know that the real actor's like actually like 26 or 27 anyway, so it's like whatever.
Yep.
I don't really. It's just I hope that it does the story better than the second game does it. But we'll have
Hopefully.
to, I don't know, wait and see. Wait and see. But we also got a first look at Stranger Things 5 with, again, another, like, still from the show, showcasing some of the
Oh,
characters.
okay.
It's two people in a car. That's all
Cool.
we know. Sure. I don't even remember if it's, like, coming out soon, but it
I
looks like it's
don't
more than that.
know. It's been going on for like a decade now. They're like basically
Yeah,
the kids are like older than us.
they are. But this is the final season, I think. So
Yeah.
it's supposed to wrap everything up, which is good because everything else has been kind
Well,
of
that's the
filler
thing. It was just
continuation.
like, yeah, because it was kind of funny. I did
Yeah.
see one of the older actors. Well, not older, but they weren't adult, but like older kids. That was like in the high
Yeah.
school one with the sister and stuff like that. He just celebrated like his 30th birthday or something like that. Like what? It's like this guy's just meant to be in college.
When season 5 comes out, the show will be nearly, like, 10 years old. Like, 2016, I think, was when Stranger Things came out. So,
Yeah.
crazy. And the first season was great. I'm a huge fan of that.
Yeah.
And that's kinda it. The rest of it was pretty meh. So hopefully it wraps it up good. If it
Hopefully.
bookends the show in a good way, I'll definitely, might even rewatch it. Like, cool.
Yeah.
We will check it out. In other news, 28 years later, zombie sequel. I have no
Yep.
idea if it's going to be good, but they've confirmed that Cillian Murphy is reprising his role, quote unquote, in a surprising way, according to the Sony chairman. I don't know what that
Okay.
means.
He's gonna be a zombie.
But he's gonna be a zombie. Well, did he become a zombie at the end of the first one? I think he like no,
Well,
he made it to like a safe zone or something, didn't he?
oh, I thought he just like left, didn't he? And then
I don't
like he
remember.
was. So
Actually, I
maybe
don't remember.
we'll see.
Anyway, it's good that he's in it. Sure, it
Yeah,
continues the story, in a cool way. Why
got
not?
an
I'm all
Oscar
for zombie
winner
movies.
in there. Yeah.
Yeah, sure, do it. Okay, we also got new images from Dune Prophecy, a series set 10,000 years before the birth of Timothy Chalamet. This looks kind of cool. I don't know how
Yeah.
you felt about this because I know that you sent it to me as well, but like,
Yeah.
I think it looks really cool.
It's interesting. You know, it's just more building upon Dune lore and that
Yeah,
universe, I suppose, which I'm all for. Obviously, it's not gonna have the same production value as the movies will and everything like that. But I feel like
no,
how they're trying to set up Dune and everything like that, they're trying to make it like another franchise type thing because they are working on Messiah now. And I feel like a lot of the
yeah.
show, what we learn is going to be like, oh, like if you watch the show or this, like you understand a lot of the things they talk about in Messiah and everything, or when the next
Yeah.
film does come out. So
I definitely think it's a good idea. I
yeah,
mean, if the show is like a smaller look into the world and then like the movies are still these huge events, I feel like that's a cool way to do it. Dune has been consistently good, the two
yeah,
films that we've had, so keep doing more of it. Sure, if it's good, keep doing it. It's only when it becomes shit that we tell you to stop. That should
yeah,
be our
yeah.
motto.
There's a limit, and then you just stop.
Can we get that on a t-shirt? Like, we only tell you to stop when it becomes shit, or when it becomes shit, we'll tell you to stop making it.
Yeah.
It needs to be something like that. Oh, okay. Another release date was announced. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow releases June 26, 2026. About a
Yes.
year after Superman. So that's cool.
Yippee! That is very
Sure.
cool. I'm very much looking
Yeah.
forward to all the new DC stuff and stuff like that. And especially because obviously the comic book that's going to be based upon as well. And I
Yeah.
hope that they do base it upon a lot of Jeff. Is it Jeff Jones? Jeff Johns? Something Jeff in it.
Yeah, Jeff Jones.
Yeah. If they do base a lot off his comic book, that will be absolutely amazing. Still, though,
Oh,
the
yeah.
biggest thing coming out of DC is like who's going to be James Gunn's Batman? That's the biggest thing right now.
You think I could do it? I think I could pull it
You
off.
definitely could do it. If not, it would be me. You can be Nightwing.
I would rock a Nightwing. Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do
Oh
that.
yeah. Or you can be like Alfred, because by the time they make that movie, you might be like 400.
Exactly. As long as I'm the cool Alfred that like gets a shotgun and kills like night owls and stuff like that, just beats the shit out of people.
That's just any Alfred. All of the Alfreds are cool. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, we got another release date. Next year is looking to be pretty stacked because Mortal Kombat 2 releases October 24th next year in 2025. And this is one that I'm really excited for because I was so disappointed by the first one. Despite it having some really cool moments, it was overall a bad film. But I feel like this one is gonna one-up it in every way. It's got a bigger budget, it's got a bigger cast, it's doing the actual tournament shit that I wanted to see in the first one.
Karl Urban's in it.
Karl Urban's in it. As Johnny Cage, which is a questionable casting choice, I feel, but if anyone can bring charisma to the screen, it's Karl Urban. So I'm like, you know what,
it would have been so great, right, if he just rocked up as Billy Butcher in it and just be like, oi.
Well, Homelander's in Mortal Kombat.
Exactly.
Like, in the games. So, I mean, technically, it wouldn't make any sense, but sure, Mortal Kombat's not exactly the most easy to follow story anyway.
Yeah, didn't they go up against Justice League a couple times?
They did, but it wasn't a very good game, so it's never happened again. Anyway. Okay. We got a trailer for Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power Season 2.
Yahoo.
Anyway, we got an announcement for a live-action Spider-Man noir series coming to Amazon Prime.
Yes.
Starring Nicolas Cage. Reprising his role from the Spider-Verse films, but it's live action, so this is gonna be cool as shit. Nick Cage is gonna be running around as an old Spider-Man with a gun, and I'm like, hell yeah, sure.
Do you think they're gonna keep it? Well, they would have to keep it black and white because that's the whole noir theme.
Noir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, go full like Sin City or something with it. Go some stylized Spider-Man.
That would be cool.
Look. That'd be cool. Oh hell yeah, I'm all excited for this. We don't know anything else about it other than it's titled just Noir as far as like right now. That's its working title. So we'll see what happens. Speaking of The Boys, I should have mentioned this like when you mentioned it. It's renewed for season 5.
Woo!
Season 4 is not even out yet. That's a good sign. It means
that is a very good sign.
Like Amazon like it. So that's cool. Okay. A couple more stories, and then we got some wacky ones. A lot of wacky news. We got a title reveal, and a release date for Agatha All Along. The Marvel show about Agatha Harkness that everyone forgot existed.
Yeah.
And it's had like 20 billion title changes.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's coming out in September with the 2-episode premiere.
Okay.
I don't know.
I can't remember that character whatsoever.
She's just evil witch lady.
Yeah.
That's like kinda it.
But I did see a funny thing though, because you know how they keep changing the titles like excessively, like a lot? They're actually going to be the episode titles, and that's the reason why they've been changing.
Oh. Yeah, no, because I did see like in a thing that was like flicking through the titles, and I'm like, was this intentional, or are they just like covering for this after the fact? I don't really know.
I think it's intentional. Hopefully, it's intentional.
I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's just a title. It doesn't really determine if it's good or not. Sure. Okay. This is one that I'm really excited for. There's a really classic sci-fi movie. I'm talking like 40s or 50s. This shit came out. Called Barbarella. I don't know if you've seen it. It was kind of like Flash Gordon-y, but it's like a space lady.
Yep.
Well, Edgar Wright is in talks to direct a route starring Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah.
And that might be like the coolest thing I've ever heard, because I want more like tropey B-grade movies, and I feel like Edgar Wright is gonna just give
He's gonna be
perfect
film. Imagine if he did like a Flash Gordon film.
This is what this is.
Yeah.
That's what this is essentially female Flash Gordon.
Flash Gordon.
That's that.
So yeah.
This is gonna be cool as hell.
It
Like,
will be cool as hell.
I love Edgar Wright. I don't have a there's no bad Edgar Wright films, they're all good. So I'm very excited to see him do something that's different from what we've seen
Yeah.
before, considering he always does something slightly different with each film, or at least
Yep.
tries
Yep.
to for the most part. So that's very cool. Anyway, on to wacky news. First of which is we got a trailer for Megaopolis.
Yeah.
Teasers, all of this like announcements for it looks very weird, but I'm not quite sold on it yet. I'm intrigued. I'm curious.
Neither are companies.
Neither are companies, and one of the reasons of that is some Francis Ford Coppola stuff has come out, especially around the set of Megaopolis. He is being accused of trying to kiss extras on the set, as well as like being an overall creepy old man
Yeah.
while wandering around.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why you haven't made
Oh
a film in
God.
like 40 years, man.
Yeah, he's a weird guy. I don't know. It's it's bad. And I hope that he faces repercussions for any of this terrible shit that he's done, but I also hope that the film's good. It's like this weird fine line of like I
Yeah,
want it to be
the
good,
movie
but
just
yeah.
looks bizarre, and I think we did cover
No.
this. Or I did say something like a few weeks ago on one podcast that
We
apparently
talked about
they were struggling to find
yeah.
like actual people to buy the rights to this movie, so it actually got into cinemas and stuff like that.
Not a good sign,
Yeah,
right?
especially when they spent like
Mm.
$300 million making this film.
He spent it like mostly of his own money too. Like
Yeah.
dude's been funding this for over a decade trying to make this film.
Yep.
And someone of that scale and repertoire, I feel like you shouldn't have to try that hard to make a movie. I'm a
Yeah.
little concerned, but I'm gonna watch it because
Shia
I'm
LaBeouf's in it.
curious. Is he? I didn't see that. I
Yeah.
saw it like Adam Driver's the main guy, which is intriguing enough as it is.
No,
But
yeah,
Shia
I
LaBeouf,
saw
I
him
haven't
like
seen him
he
in anything in
rocked up a
ages.
couple times. I was like, wow. If you actually watch the cast list, the most recent trailer they did or whatever, or
Yeah,
teaser,
right.
it was just like, holy shit, he got like everyone in Hollywood to try and get into this film.
Which is also crazy, considering no one wants to like really own this film. I don't know. Okay. In other wacky news, this is wacky and also like terrible. Because Steve Buscemi has been punched in the face while walking around New York City in just a seemingly random attack. Someone saw Steve Buscemi and just ran up and started punching the guy in the face. And he was taken to a hospital with
Okay.
bruising, swelling, bleeding from the eye. And he's all right though, and I don't think he wants to do anything about it. He seems to be like, that kind of sucks for him.
Yep.
That's like Steve Buscemi's kind
Yeah.
of taking it like a champ. But also, who would punch Steve Buscemi?
I know. What an asshole.
Yeah, right. Like he's such a cool guy. Why would you do that?
Yep.
Oh man. Okay, and then final wacky story. This one is definitely wacky. Jerry Seinfeld recently did a speech at a university in which he went on a rant where he apologized for the quote-unquote sexual undertones of the Bee movie. It was weird. I don't know
Okay.
why.
He's like, I'm
felt the
sorry
need
that this bee
do
was
that.
sexualized. I am super horny for
No.
bees.
He was like, I'm sorry that the movie had so many like sexual jokes and stuff in it. And I'm
Yeah.
like, Jerry, you made that movie 15 years ago.
Yeah.
It's a comedy film. What are you doing? I don't know. It was a weird speech.
It was
out
basically
of nowhere. I don't
Seinfeld,
know.
but bee.
Yeah, pretty much. And I don't know why he was apologizing for it, but I
Yeah.
just thought that was really funny and random. So I had to bring that up. Like, sure, Jerry, you get your bread.
Yep.
I don't know. Weirdo. All right, that's it for the news for this week. We have some wacky people. Okay,
That is wacky
what
people
are we
with
doing
wacky
this week,
news.
Barry?
So this week we are talking about Godzilla Minus One. Play the clip editor.
Minus One.
Are you doing it in post?
I
get
was not
excited every time you
ready.
do that.
I was not ready.
On Spotify is not gonna have it now, so it's like, you get a behind the scenes unedited look.
Yeah,
'Cause me
look.
and Barry do it differently.
And then I do all this and wow.
I'm Godzilla.
Ooh. Yeah. Rawr. So yes, we finally watched Godzilla Minus One that came out late last year. The story of Godzilla Minus One is feeling as if he's unfairly cheated death too many times. Shikishima, a surviving kamikaze pilot in the attack of Odo Island, along with many warplane engineers by a gargantuan monster. After the engineers died due to Shikishima failing to distract the monster, an overwhelming amount of guilt weighs on him, especially after a homeless woman and baby move into his home when he returns from war. Now on a personal mission, he teams up with a large group of veterans to finally take down the monster known as Godzilla. And they have finally made a film where the actual human characters are relatable in a Godzilla film.
I was gonna say they finally made a good Godzilla film.
That too.
It's been a long time, and that's to say if there ever really was any good Godzilla films.
Oh, we talk about the original one?
Well, they're good, but they are so dated.
Yeah.
Like, they're hard to watch. But this one felt like the perfect blend of the old Godzilla films and then also the new ones.
Yes.
For the most part.
For the most part.
This is far from a perfect film, but it was enjoyable. And by Godzilla standards, it was good. So that's kind of where
also
I'm
to mention that this was only done on a budget of $15 million.
And you can see that because it does look very rough. Huge segments of this film. What came to me while watching this film, Barry, before we get into it, is that I wish this film was in black and white. Because that would hide so much of the CGI problems that this film had. It feels a lot like the Stephen King film The Mist. There's a black and white version of that fixes all of the CGI problems of that film, which is the only problems of that film. So I don't know if there is a black and white version of this, but like they should do one.
There is a black and white version of it.
Oh, well, they thought of it anyway. There you go. Cool.
Yeah.
If you can find
so it's
a way
perfect.
to watch that one, watch that before we get into it. So as always, spoilers for Godzilla Minus One and whatever else we want to talk about.
What do you think the title of it's called for the black and white version?
Is it Godzilla Black and White?
No, Godzilla Minus One minus color.
Oh, that's great. I want that one. I should have watched that one. Where can you? I need to find it.
I need to find this now. I need to find it.
That's hilarious. That's great. Okay, so yeah, basically this film just kind of follows a small group of humans as they try and deal with Godzilla, and Godzilla's attacking Tokyo for once, which is very cool to see.
Yes.
The film is entirely in Japanese, so subtitled, so be warned if you're, I don't know, you can't read all that jazz, sure. But it's good. It's worth it. The human characters, for the most part, are good. Likeable. The main character is kind of a coward. He's a bit of a loser. He doesn't really do much in the film, but he's enough to carry it forward. The other characters in they're there too, but they work well enough together to carry the plot. But he's an ex-fighter pilot, kamikaze pilot that survived World War II. And Godzilla shows up, and he's like, "Rah, I'm Godzilla," and he attacks the boats, and he attacks the city. And then they're like, "Hey man, let's kill Godzilla." And then they take Godzilla out the ocean, they do a bunch of sciencey shit, and then they blow his head up with a plane.
Yep.
And that's the film. It's as classic a plot as Godzilla can be, right? Like, it's just Godzilla's attack on Tokyo, let's kill it.
Yeah.
I loved that.
And that's all you need. That is all you need. Well, or did they? Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. but also like improve on it, which is what
Yeah.
this film does because it gives you the plot and the coolness of just Godzilla's coming, and he's attacking a city. The old plots in the like, because I think it was the 40s that they started doing Godzilla films. So simple, yet so much fun, and that works so good. But combined with today's technology and filmmaking, what's the word like, filmmaking of stuff.
Yes, we are
Just
professional.
it gives you the best of both we know the words for it gives you the
We know
best of
words.
both worlds, in mostly a fun way.
Yeah.
But, yeah, there are obviously some problems. So I don't know if you wanted to talk about the film before we get into what we didn't like about it.
Yeah, yeah. So that's the thing. There are a lot of good elements about this. Like, yes, it was made on a budget of $15 million. Like, congrats to these guys, especially for the scale that it was and everything like that. They did win an Oscar
Literally. Yeah.
for the visual effects. Surprisingly, I don't think it deserved it.
Very
but,
surprisingly, now that I've watched
yeah,
it.
now that I've watched it, because that's the thing. People were raving on about this film, being like, "Oh my gosh!" And I understand. Like, this is probably the penultimate best Godzilla film that we currently have, and I would really love to watch
Probably right. Yeah.
a black and white version of this because that sounds really cool. I'm looking at a couple images now. It's like, holy shit!
It looks so much better, I'm telling you.
And that's the thing. And I liked the simplicity of the story because this is the first time in a long time where they've made Godzilla the actual monster. He is the monster. He's not like an anti-villain or anything like that. He is very much the threat. And it also gave the character, we followed the human character, an actual like personal reason as to why he wants to fight Godzilla and take it down and everything like that. And the way he did his story and just the whole like scene of it all and stuff like that, that they actually chose to locate it and do it about post World War II Japan, which we don't see in too many films and everything like that. And he was trying to recover and everything like that. We saw that how that entire country was trying to recover from everything and actual historical events. And then along came Godzilla again. And he's like, I'm going to kill everyone now. So that story part to it was just so great. But then it comes to the bad side of it all, which there are a few things. Obviously, the biggest thing is the visual effects. There are quite a few noticeable scenes where it's just like someone's done this in Blender, and here it is type thing. I will admit though, the water physics and stuff like that when they did those scenes, I'm just like, whoever did them, very good job. Like, I've tried to do that stuff with his personal projects and stuff like that. And for the most part, like, still you got to think how low a budget this is compared to a lot of films. But then you also got to think how well of the visual effects was in The Creator, even though that was still a lot more. But it's like, there's a reason why there was a lot more and it looked a lot more better than on most of these shots than in Godzilla. And then also as well is the ending to this movie, which had like a post Easter egg of like, is he actually dead? And then you had the weird where he basically found his girlfriend and stuff like that, or the person that was living with him, that was still alive somehow, even though she got like vaporized.
Post-credit scenes?
Yeah.
Huh? Oh, I didn't watch it. As soon as credits rolled,
sorry.
I came on here.
It's just before the credits roll. Sorry. So all this happens. Yeah. And so basically, when she's in the hospital, there's like a little like thing crawling on her neck, like in her veins. And I'm just like, is she the next Godzilla?
It's Sheezilla?
Sheezilla? Like, I don't know. And then it's just somewhat the acting performances in this was very eccentric, but that is Japanese film though. Like, if you go watch a lot of Japanese like film and stuff like that, it is very much like that. And this is the thing, it was made in Japan by Japanese people and everything like that. It's not like Shogun. Shogun is American people making Japanese stuff and everything like that. And Shogun's a whole other level.
This is a classic Japanese Godzilla in every way. Like, this is, if they had the technology in the 40s, this is the Godzilla film they would have made. And I kind of love that. It feels, both old and new at the same time. And I love that feeling. But yeah, like you said, some of the acting is odd. Like it could be better in parts. The
Yep.
main character was likable enough, but I don't feel like he carried me through everything. There's a lot of
No.
moments where I was like, I could probably skip this.
There was a lot of side
Same with like
characters
the
that I preferred
girlfriend.
more. Yeah.
I couldn't remember any of their names either. So that was
Either.
that.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what? Whatever. I like the scientist guy though. He was cool.
Yeah.
One with the big plume of
Albert
hair. He was
Einstein
cool.
style hair. Yeah.
Looking guy. It was great. And I really loved how Godzilla looked in this film. Despite the
Yeah.
visual effects of all the buildings and everything that was being
No,
destroyed
he
was
looked
pretty
good.
bad. Godzilla looked good. Like Godzilla itself, I don't think I could point like a flaw in like the actual Godzilla model and how it moved and everything.
Well, that's the
And
thing. It was very
my
much like
favorite
the
part,
original Godzilla. So
my favorite part of Godzilla, this Godzilla, is how he moves like it's a guy in a suit. When he's walking and it looks like it's a dinosaur. It's very stiff and like puppety. And I'm like, how did they get this CGI Godzilla that's swinging its tail around and like laser shit? But it also looks like it could be a guy in a suit in certain shots, and I love that. I was like, this is so good. This is how Godzilla should be. Not running around with King Kong doing backflips and shit. Like this is the real Godzilla.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
And that's the thing. They made him out to be very much like he is the threat. Like his atomic breath in this is insane compared to like what they do for like the other. Yeah. And that's the thing. Is this very much like in the atmosphere that it's all in, like, yeah, post World War II Japan and everything like that. And then the government's not helping whatsoever for it because they're just like, it's a whole thing and stuff like that because of territories and stuff like that. So like the veterans and stuff like that who served a war already and survived, just like, well, we have to do something about it because he's killing our homes and destroying everything. And yeah, like that kind of element to it all was kind of great. Like obviously as a writer and stuff like that, like the story, I want to see something, if they ever do a Godzilla, that is something very unique and very different.
I don't know if they can. There's like 40 Godzilla films.
Yeah. And that's the thing. None of them have really, with the story, have quite stuck the landing with it. Like they're not like, oh my gosh, this is such an amazing story type thing. But I suppose it is hard to do like human-based characters when like you are dealing with something like Godzilla.
Yeah. I don't know how like emotionally attached to giant lizard. I don't know. Maybe if they did like a weird reboot that was sort of like what they did with Planet of the Apes, maybe something like that could be kind of cool. But even still, it's a giant lizard, and we want to see it smash shit.
Well, that's the thing. Because have you ever seen? There was like a couple years ago, animated Godzilla show that Netflix did. That was actually set in the future.
Yeah. I saw the trailer. I haven't seen the show itself, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, because it was kind of like in the near future, Godzilla attacked Earth. We basically left the planet, or a few people left the planet on a spaceship, and somehow they like didn't come back. Well, they were meant to come back like after a certain amount of time, but it ended up being like thousands of years or whatever. So they came back to this Earth where it was thousands of years, and it was actually kind of like really interesting how they did it all and stuff like that, like the story and how even the world, the Earth, like changed over that 1,000 years, because like the main character you follow and stuff like that was just like he remembers the attack of Godzilla and killing his parents and everything like that, and obviously he's just like, I want to kill this thing. And then it turns out it wasn't like they kill a Godzilla, but then it wasn't the Godzilla, it was the baby of the Godzilla, so then they had to kill another one. And then I know what's the fucking dragon thing rocks up as well, and then there's a whole like
I don't know
cult following of these alien race people that were also like part of humanity, and it's a whole thing. But it was actually like how it all came together over like the series and stuff like that. It was actually like, oh, like this is a very different take upon like Godzilla and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, well, that's the thing with Godzilla is you get the just, oh, it's a giant lizard attacking Tokyo, and then you also get weird space future lizard dragon moth things, and it's like,
yeah, because doesn't he come like some parts of the lore that is like, oh, he came from space and everything like that.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes he comes from space, sometimes he's like a mutant lizard.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you which. It's like half
It's
the
all
time
over the show.
it's it's a big lizard. I don't know. That's kind of all you need to know. I'm thinking final thoughts and ratings for Godzilla Minus One. I feel like we've covered it fairly well.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree, Barry?
Yeah, no.
Bereth?
I would probably give this 7 out of 10. I very much did enjoy it. I probably would watch it again if I can find that black and white version. I think that would actually make it
Yeah, I
a lot
wish.
better, and the aesthetic and stuff like that. I'm literally looking right now. I can get one from Japan, because that's another thing as well. This movie is like you can only get it like in Japan type thing. It's not on like
Yeah.
big streaming services and stuff like that. It's actually very hard to grab. And like I wish I did go and see it at the cinemas, especially the black and white version. Apparently, they did play it in cinemas.
Yeah, they play that one here because that would have been so cool.
That would have been so cool. But yeah,
Oh,
7 out of
man.
10. There's a lot of things I do enjoy about it, and I would like watch it again in that kind of thing. And it's kind of interesting to see like if they do make a sequel. I suspect that they will because of how much money this made compared to the original one. And it got an Oscar. It won an Oscar. I don't see how, but it won an Oscar.
Yeah, I don't know. Sure. Cool. I'm sitting on a 7 as well. Like enjoyable Godzilla. That's kind of all I expected from it. It's like it's better than I thought it would be.
Yes,
But
yeah.
it's also like it's not gonna blow anyone's minds in terms of like, story or characters or whatever. But in terms of Godzilla films, this might be like one of the best of the best. Like
Yeah.
way up there. And considering there's like 50 odd Godzilla films since the 40s, that's no small feat.
Yeah.
They've definitely achieved something that was fun. It was a good watch. Even if I find a black and white version, I probably won't watch it again. Even I just wish that that's the version that I watched first.
Yeah.
But we'll see how we go. 2 sevens is pretty good. Like,
Yeah,
7's a good
not bad.
rating.
Nice.
Yeah. Barry, now we're on to my favorite part of the podcast for the last 10
Oh,
weeks.
yes. This has
What we
been
talk about?
the penultimate show ever made, and I cannot wait for more seasons to come out of this, because we are talking about the one, the only, the X-Men. Just have to wait for that. Yes, we are talking about X-Men 97 because it has officially wrapped up their first season. And oh my God, what a wonderful, amazing animated show this has been. I have never experienced like this the true glory of the X-Men before. Even back when this show was airing, which I wasn't alive for. Neither were you. But it's just still like the overall story and what they have done in this animated show is like, wow, it is mind blowing what they've been able to accomplish in this. And I honestly cannot wait to see what they do next now.
Yeah. Never in the history of television has an animated reboot been better than the original. Until now. And also, never has a Disney animated show like the sequel been better.
Yeah.
I don't think anything has come close to this level of just one-upping the original source material. Coming out of like Marvel or Disney or whatever. This is the best adaptation of the X-Men comics of the 80s that we've ever seen. We may ever see. This is crazy. This is like an amazing TV show. This is the best Marvel Disney show since Disney bought Marvel. This is insane. And we never thought we'd be saying this about X-Men 97, a continuation of a show that's already really good. And holds up really well considering it was really bare bones from the 90s. Like, this is an insane show. I love it. So this episode caps everything together. Barry, have you got the synopsis up?
Do you want to give us
the
synopsis
rundown?
up. So basically, following on from last week's episode, on Asteroid M, Bastion prepares to wipe out all of humanity. Charles and Magnus struggle in Magnus's mindscape, while the X-Men try to stop Bastion from wiping out humanity and mutant kind and bringing a new species into existence to replace them. So yes, a lot happened in this final episode, and then obviously teasing what is coming for season 2.
Yeah. This was crazy.
This was crazy.
The actual finale didn't take up as long as I thought it would be. I thought this episode would be entirely fighting Magneto and fighting Bastion, but it kind of starts with them like beating them. Like,
Yeah.
hey, we got him. Pew pew pew. Professor X is trapped with Professor X is trapped with Magneto in his mind. They're having like theological discussions about their past inside of his brain, and that was really cool to see.
Yeah.
I love that. It's very humanizing. This show's treating Magneto in a way that's never been done before. The X-Men movies, like the original ones, came close with Magneto. He's always been a good character, but this is taking it to another level. Again,
Yeah.
I'm loving it. Same with Professor X, who's a horrible character, even in this show, yet he's still doing the right thing, so it's great. Wolverine's not in this episode. He dies. He's sidelined the entire thing.
He's sidelined, which this is the thing. I am so glad that they have done that for this first season, mainly because it's just like, for the past, we've mentioned this before, we've talked about X-Men 97. For the past 20 years, we've had nothing but Wolverine, or Hugh Jackman's Wolverine and everything like that. And so it's still the biggest thing because he's coming back for Deadpool and Wolverine and everything like that. Yeah. It's still very much that version of Wolverine. So I'm kind of glad that this version of Wolverine has been set on the sidelines a lot. This is just like a side character. Yeah. But what they are setting up for and potentially preparing for his character in following seasons is going to be fucking amazing.
Very cool. All right, towards the end of this episode, sorry, let's talk about the middle first, because there's a point where they bring Magneto back and he uses his powers to restart everything. Which in turn turns all of the Sentinels on and gives us like one of the coolest moments in Marvel history, in which we see the Avengers, we see Spider-Man, we see Daredevil, Cloak and Dagger, just about everyone from every corner.
Stephen Strange.
Of the Marvel universe. Stephen Strange doing it. Morph turns into Mr. Fantastic inside this section too. It's like there's a whole area where we see every corner of the Marvel universe. In this one TV show, in a way that the MCU could easily do as well. And I'm like, you guys nailed this shit. You've convinced us of how the X-Men work in the MCU. Like, this is how you do it. So that was like the coolest thing ever. But as always, they beat Bastion. The Phoenix comes back.
I gotta say, the whole Bastion fight and everything like that, fucking phenomenal. Just like animation alone, Jubilee kicked his fucking ass. Which that's the thing. How did Jubilee
do it? She's never done anything,
and she actually did something.
Yeah, I love that. Oh, and when Rogue was like punching him through like the moon or a part of the asteroid or something, like that was insane. And Sunspot was actually doing shit too.
Yep.
I was like, all right, okay. These characters are growing on me, especially like Sunspot, who hasn't done nothing this season. He's just kind of been there, while the focus has been on everyone else. But he shines as well. Very cool. What else happens? Oh yeah, the asteroid starts plummeting towards the Earth.
Yes,
because it gets shut down.
Yep.
That's cool. We see Iron Man and Captain America.
Yeah. So basically, what ends up happening? The government ends up releasing the Magneto protocol. They try and nuke it all and stuff like that. They try and destroy it with the X-Men on there. Obviously, that doesn't work whatsoever because it's just a massive fortress type thing. And Magneto obviously planned for all that.
Yeah.
Because Magneto was one of the smartest people. And then obviously the X-Men are like, well, we still need to like find a way of rescuing, or not making this go boom. Otherwise, like a lot of humanity will die because it's a massive asteroid coming in. So there's a whole scene of them teaming up and using all their powers and working as a team once again type thing. And some of them like go down to the Earth. I think it was Jubilee and Sunspot.
Yeah, because Sunspot saves her and then they fly away.
That's right.
So those two make it down to the Earth.
Yeah, basically the main X-Men, I would say the original X-Men are like all on this ship and everything like that. While obviously Charles and Magneto are still in his mindscape, which is a whole cool sequence as well of like what we saw. And he's trying to like help Magnus and remember who he is and remember what he stands for and everything like that. And then obviously he wakes up and then he lifts the fortress back up into the sky, only to then get teleported to not where, but when.
In what is like because I was very unsure as to what happened when the asteroid disappeared.
Because then it's like 6 months later, Forge is just chilling in the X Mansion and what remains of the world and stuff like that. And then what's his name comes down, the guy that can bring in the power. Bishop, that's the one. Yeah, Bishop's just like, cool. Well, I'm from the future, and it's not to where they're going. It's
putting together a new team.
Putting together a new team.
Putting a new team together. So who's on Earth? Who is the X-Men right now? Because
you have Jubilee, Sunspot,
Jubilee,
Bishop,
Sunspot,
Forge.
That's kind of
it. They had as far as we know.
Behind them. Yeah, they were like searching for like Colossus and a bunch of other people.
Colossus is around. Yeah,
they had some Iceman and that were on there too. That was cool. Yeah. But everyone else is in one of two places. Cyclops and Jean Grey got sent to the far future.
Yep.
In which they're dealing with like weird space pirate dudes and also Cable's there, but as a kid.
And like, also another character is also there from the comics.
Oh, the lady?
The lady. Do you know who she is?
I can't remember her name.
Oh, it's kind of spoilers.
Yeah.
She's basically their daughter in the comics.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember her name. I don't know. The Summers family's wacky. Anyway, everyone else got sucked back in time to the ancient Egyptians.
Well, not everyone else, but majority of them.
Wasn't it everyone else? Who got sent elsewhere?
No. So basically, the people that we don't know where they are is Wolverine and thingy.
Morph. Wait, we didn't see where Wolverine and Morph went, did we?
No, that's the biggest thing. Shit. That's the biggest thing now. People are like, what happened?
I forgot about them. What happened to Wolverine and Morph?
Yeah, we don't know.
I have to rewatch it now because I completely missed that because I thought everyone was there.
No.
But obviously not. Anyway, the big twist is that we are introduced to a character that the X-Men know very well and we know very well. I can't remember what he goes by at this current time, but it's Apocalypse. Before he's got his purple armor. One of the original mutant for most of the time.
And Saba Nau is his original name during that time.
Anyway, he's one of the biggest bad guys in X-Men history. Yeah, and the X-Men know that because when they see him, Beast is like, oh no.
Yep.
And I thought that was hilarious because what are they doing now?
Yeah, because obviously we see a younger version of Apocalypse. And while also at the same time, it then cuts back to modern day with the real Apocalypse. Well, then Apocalypse, because he turns into Apocalypse.
At
Genosha picking up Gambit's card.
Yeah. So you know what that means is he's bringing him back as one of his horsemen.
Yep.
And we saw that coming because that happens in the comics. And the same with Wolverine is Apocalypse is the one that puts the metal back in his skeleton. So we know that's happening too. But also I can't wait to see it. I love it. This is amazing.
Yeah. No, it's like
so good.
How they've done this show is absolutely phenomenal. I did not expect them for an animated show that I thought was still targeting for kids to be like what they did. Well, that's like third episode in. They wiped out Genosha. They killed Gambit.
Dude. That shit was insane.
That was insane. I was not expecting that so early on in the season. And there's just repercussions from that. And just like the level of character detail they've gone in with each and every single one of the X-Men. Even though they only really have a short amount of time. But like the X-Men that we haven't seen in live action for so long, like Cyclops, like Rogue, and everything like that, they actually have their proper screen time in this. And we actually probably see their characters fully developed and everything like that. It is phenomenal to like see like writing like this and how it's all coming together and adapting the X-Men comics by Jack Kirby and everything like that. It's just like, wow, like this is phenomenal. So I'm going to give this already a 9 out of 10. So that's going to be my score for it. I have actually fallen in love with this show. There still are a few things and stuff like that that do have its like low points and stuff like that. There are a couple of episodes where I was just like, and it just drags on a little bit, especially in that middle ground after the Genosha one. It was a bit too much like politics this, politics that.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, yeah, I really love it. I like the animation style, how they're doing it all. Bringing Cyclops actually back into the main thick of the X-Men again and
I love
showing
it.
who he is. Like he took off his visor in this last episode and we got to see like his full true power. I was like, damn.
Yeah, we saw it all.
And
I
it's just
love
like
it.
those touching moments that they have between one another and actual real relationships between these characters. Like you got that little moment where they thought they were going to die, so they telepathically linked it themselves to Cable and everything like that. It's like those little moments are just such nice things. Voice acting is on point. Like Theo James as
So good.
Bastion is like, I never expected Bastion to be a threat at all.
I don't know who Bastion is, but now he's so
Exactly.
goddamn cool.
And they gave him like a whole
Bastion?
backstory where he was meant to be originally one of the original X-Men, but his mom said no to it and everything like that. And they tried to help him, but it was just like never a thing. And it's just, how it's ending and where it's going is just like, I'm looking forward to
when it's going.
Yeah.
Get it? Yeah. It's time travel.
Yeah,
The
time
X-Men
travel.
love time travel.
They sure do. So do the Fantastic Four.
I'm not quite sure if the 90s X-Men show ever did like this, because I know they did future time travel, but I don't know if they ever went backwards. They probably did.
No.
I don't know why I'm questioning that. It's the X-Men. They probably went everywhere.
Probably.
At some point. I don't remember. I'll have to check it out again. But I'm giving the show a 10 out of 10. I think this is as good as an animated X-Men show can get. Like, it has the filler moments of emotion and has all of the soap opera elements that make this team so good, so interesting to watch. But it also has the high energy action that you get from the X-Men that you don't get from anywhere else. It's crazy. This is like the best superhero team in comics. It's always been my favorite team. And I'm so glad to see it done with this level of justice. And yeah, I want 30 billion seasons of this show.
Well, here's the thing now.
Consistently like this.
Because this show has been like, it's done so well and everything like that, and it's the characters shown.
Oh, yeah.
Would it be best, and this is your opinion, they haven't confirmed anything yet, do you think they could actually turn these animated ones into the live action X-Men? Do you think that would work?
Maybe. But then it's also like, I feel like some of those stories that have been told would work in live action better.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. It's a tough decision as to how they do it. I am unsure what they will do. But what I want to see is I just want this team to come across. I want like the best of the bests coming in, adapting some sort of X-Men. You know, it's got to be good.
Yeah.
I hope they look like this though. The looks in the show is just how the X-Men should look.
Yeah. Well, from that little tease that we did get in Captain Marvel of all fucking films, the Marvels, sorry, we did see
I wish we didn't
Beast at the end. But that's the thing.
And it looks like this.
It looks like that. And that looks like the Beast from this show. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that they do have some kind of form of that.
Maybe.
And obviously, I honestly think when Deadpool and Wolverine comes out, we are going to get like the biggest hint as to where the X-Men are going to come from and everything like that. Because obviously that is X-Men Central, that film, where you got two of the biggest X-Men related characters. You got Wolverine in it and everything like that. They got Hugh Jackman to come back for it.
They got Pyro, everyone's favorite X-Men character.
Yeah. Frog's there, Sabretooth's there. Everyone's there. All the villains are there.
The other ones, I don't know, the lady with long fingernails is there too. That's it.
Yeah,
that's X-Men.
That's X-Men.
Go watch that. This has been such a good podcast because everything's been good. I love it when we do that. It's just chill and everything's really nice. The world is all butterflies and rainbows and giant space lasers and time travel or some shit. I don't know.
Exactly. Oh man, yeah, it's good when you have like good shows coming out like this, like back to back. Obviously, there are a lot more things to come in this year. I think we're now heading into June and everything. We are going to be getting The Boys season 4, which we've both been looking forward to. There is a lot of great shows. There's a lot of shows that look kind of like, okay, I might not watch that.
Like
and then obviously, that's the whole thing. And then obviously, there are like movies are popping back up again near the later half of this year, and everything like that. It's kind of funny if you like see the calendar for things at the moment. Everyone's trying to stay clear of Deadpool and Wolverine. It is so funny. Like, I don't think another big film comes out for like a month after that film comes out. Yeah. Mainly because I think, like, obviously Disney are trying to put as much money, as much as their stuff into it and everything. That a lot of their advertising is just like, this is going to be our film of the year. This is the only Marvel film coming out this year. We have to make sure this hits big and everyone goes to see it. Otherwise, that's the thing. 'Cause I honestly think if Deadpool Wolverine doesn't go well, if it receives poorly and everything like that, that basically is the rest of Marvel then is going to be downhill from there. I feel like this was like their last saving grace, bringing in Ryan Reynolds and everything. And that's the thing. This is going to be their first ever feature R-rated film coming from Disney. Don't forget about that. That is a pretty big thing.
That's true.
As well. I'm looking forward to it. Everything that I hear and see from Deadpool and Wolverine, I'm just like, I'm there for the ride. I hope that it like at least teases what X-Men are expected to come in the future. Obviously, they haven't casted the new X-Men and everything like that, and they are still writing or stuff like that, the actual live action X-Men, and it'll be interesting to where it goes and the whole shebang of it all. And there's it's like there's a possibility. We've seen it obviously with X-Men 97, where the stories can be told with these characters and what you can do with superhero characters and build the MCU world like the way they've done it with this show. That's the thing, because it was just so great. Like literally, it was just a couple scenes of seeing Daredevil being Daredevil. And then, like Spider-Man, reading like the television, seeing the television and stuff like that. With Mary Jane Watson. And that's it, because I like grew up more watching the Amazing Spider-Man show, like this one's based upon, than the X-Men. So like I'm pretty sure I have like VHSs of all like the Amazing Spider-Man show and stuff like that. And so it would be like, if they do announce they're going to do a reboot of X-Men, of the Amazing Spider-Man, and it's just like a continuation of all this, or we see more of his character, I'm just going to lose it. I'm going to be like, yes, this is the best thing ever.
Do it all. Just keep doing this. Have an animated universe. Fuck it. We have all these characters now. Just do it.
Why not?
This is great.
Why not?
I love it.
Yeah, do an animated universe like this, and then do the live action universe. Just two separate ones.
It's the comic books, but they move. The easiest way to make money ever. Right? Like, why are they not doing this?
Exactly. Exactly.
I love it. It's great.
I love it too.
Okay. Well, that's kind of it.
Well, that's the podcast. That's really it. So thanks for coming out, everyone. Hope you enjoyed it. We did. It was two good films. It's always nice when we talk about two good things and everything like that. Obviously, we'll be back next week doing all this. So make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you're on YouTube, and follow us all the links and follow us here at all the places. We'll catch you next time. Thanks for joining.
Bye now. I hope we get a Morph solo movie.
That would be amazing. Just Morph. The Amazing Morph.
Just Morph. Amazing Morph.
That would be perfect.
Where we end that one.